All right, we're back. So I aired the place out, and Her Majesty's happy again. So we're good to go. Um, Bondo's hardened up enough to tap it, so we'll go ahead and retap this one now. I decided to put this in there, this little tap handle, just because it gives me a little bit better feel what's going on here. I'm just turning it with my fingers very carefully. All right, that looks pretty good. Looks like a little filling on a tooth. It's in there pretty good though. Okay, so that's one. I'll do the rest of them. You don't want to watch this whole thing, this whole tapping operation. It's kind of hard to see anyway. So I'll get all these tapped, and then we'll come back and reassemble this switch, and we'll see how it looks. Okay. All right, welcome back to Ox Tool. I'm Tom. We've been working on this this drum switch project here, which is starting to turn into a little bit of a project. We were over in the mill in the last little segment, and part of these switch contacts had chipped out. It's Bakelite, which is kind of it's a little bit brittle, and the screw size that I chose was probably a little bit too big, but it's a number 4. But what I wanted was I wanted this little truss head, and the idea there was it's a low head, and it would just catch this opening here and retain that switch contact. Without having to use a washer and stack a bunch of crud up on there and make the thing higher. I wanted a low profile, so that was why I chose that. Anyway, so I had a little trouble drilling and tapping those, and because they were already broken, so it just made that job harder. So I ended up patching it up with some auto body repair stuff, some Bondo, which I put on there and then just trimmed with a scalpel before it fully hardened, and I was able to tap the threads in that material successfully. So there's the other one there. So anyway, so I got the threads in there. Everything's pretty happy now. Finally. So a couple things came up that I didn't film, but I probably want to talk about. One is these screws. I wanted shorter ones, and all I had was the shortest ones I had were like 1/4 inch, and I wanted like 1/8 inch long, so I wanted to shorten them. So a cool way, and most of you guys have probably seen this, but I just bring it up just because it's a real clean way of shortening screws, and I don't really like shortening screws. It's always kind of a pain in the neck. But this just makes it easier and cleaner and faster. Some guys have gone to the trouble of making different thickness screw plates for shortening, just for shortening screws. And in the olden days, guys had actually kind of decorative screw plates that they would use to shorten screws. So it was a real common thing to do for fitters, people that fitted mechanical parts together, to have to adjust the length of screws. Anyway, so we use the same principle here. So I wanted 1/8 inch length under the head. So I just got a piece of 1/8 inch material, and I just tapped it with the same 440 thread, and you just screw it through the plate until it bottoms out, and so it's nice, it's well retained, and then I just clipped it off with some nippers like that. So there's a little bump left after you nip it, and the thread's distorted. So what you really want to do is you want to hit that with a file and bring it down flush to the plate, so you got your length. And what it does is it straightens that boogered up thread. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it real quick so you can watch my little thing set up here. Alright, let's see the vise. So I'll put this in the vise. I'm just going to put it up like that, secure it. That's it, it's done. So that's flush, I can't even feel it anymore. And then I'll just take that out. And it straightens that bent thread at the end. And now I got a, this is going to be hard to see there. Now I got a nice 1/8 long truss head screw, 440. It just takes a second to do it. So some guys have drilled a series of holes in a plate so that they can do any machine screw size that comes along in the shop, and just do it quickly. I don't like to shorten screws that much. I'd rather just buy the right length that I want. So let's do a little assembly here. Kind of put this thing together so you can see how it goes together. And let's see that. Okay, that's that side, and that is that side. So I've been fiddling with this, so I know what the magic sequence is here to get this thing together. So I'll bore you with the details of that. Oops. Oh yeah, right. I gotta go in there first. Thought I remembered the sequence. Oh, there it is, right, okay. Alright, so that's one side, and I'll put a couple of screws in there. I think that's the one I want, the longer one in there. So that's free to move that way right now until I put this other screw in here, and then it just kind of traps it axially, and it won't move anymore, and it's secure. Yeah, so that's it right there. Tighten those up, okay. Now the part that I missed before was I got to put this. I got to put the drum in, the drum switch at this point, or else I can't get it in later on. So, you know what, I'm going to leave that out for a second. It's like a mouse trap waiting to pinch me here, so I gotta hold this spring-loaded jobber out of the way and try not to snap my finger while aligning a couple of. Come on, you bugger. I guess I should have practiced a little more before shooting the video. It's starting to bother my finger there. suppose I could wait to put the, there it goes. That's all I wanted. And where's the, okay, there's my little roller deal. Something doesn't look right. There it goes. And I gotta get the spring. Okay. Alright, so that's kind of one half there. And then I'll put this other one in. It only goes one way. Is that the end of it? Yeah, that's the end of this. More damaged. So the front end of this drum switch doesn't really have a bearing. It just kind of idles in this this flanged sheet metal hole, so that acts kind of like a bearing for this shaft here. And this thing was bent too. I straightened that. I don't remember filming that, but you know, it was pretty easy to straighten. Nothing major. Alright, so boom. Right. Yeah, I don't want to bust them out at this point. I get a bit of work in this thing now, so really that would annoy me if I accidentally busted that. Alright, let's see. I gotta grab a flat blade screwdriver here. Okay. Alright, so the last bit here is this plate here. This is my my front bearing, so to speak. Didn't quite feel right there. Okay. Let's slip that on. Once again, it's, you know, you gotta balance like 3 different things here. You're squeezing on to get things to behave. While you thread a screw in, right? So at least it doesn't have a bunch of ball bearings with springs, you know? Those are always fun. Little detent jobs. So, you know, so this is where I don't understand. Why don't they just put Phillips here, right? I mean, you know, here I'm dorking around here with this flat blade, right? Trying to get the darn thing in. And, you know, it wants to slide out. And, you know, Phillips are kind of self-centering, even though if you can't tighten them up quite as much without messing them up. But I don't quite get it, you know. You know, maybe there's some goofy machine that puts these things together or something like that, that they don't want to change. So they got these old Philister head screws, you know. I don't know. I think this company's been around for 8 or 10,000 years, something like that. All right, well, it looks like it's behaving okay. So this is why I wanted the low heads, because they sit under this sheet metal thing here. So this doesn't really affect the function of it, but there was no room to countersink it or do anything. I suppose I could punch a couple of holes in this, but I don't think it's really worth it for this thing here. Alright, so now I'm going to put the now this handle is injured also. This was injured in the tip over. You can see that it's kind of bent. Here's the other one. And you can kind of see the difference between the two. So this one's boogered here. I'm scared to straighten this one actually, because it's got a crack in it. Maybe you can see that right there. It's got a crack, and the plastic's kind of yielded. So unless I heated this up, put it in boiling water or something like that, I suppose I could do that, and then just kind of slowly massaged it back into place. It makes me a little bit nervous. It doesn't look like it's going to affect the function here. It just looks a little funny, but I'm okay with that right now. I don't want to, like I said, if I snap it off, then I I just create another project for myself. Not that I'm opposed to projects for the sake of projects, but you try to not break things, right? When you're messing around with stuff like this. All right, let's put that in there. See, another slotted screw. Look at that. That could easily be a Phillips right there, huh? Or a Torx or something that. Something. All right. I think that's a pretty happy switch. Okay with that. Just notice that little nub sticks out in the back. That's interesting. How does that work? Because it mounts on the back. Let me get that. Oh, so this is the cover that we reworked too. This cover was torqued out, and so we did a little bit of work on the stake to clean that up and make it nice again. These ears were bent. A bunch of stuff was messed up here. It goes like that. Oh, that's right. That goes inside there. I forgot. Okay, where's it gonna go? There it goes. Looks like those screws are sort of kind of lining up there. There's a little bit hanging over. Oop. What's going on there? Is there? Okay, so it's got there's a little rack in the sheet metal here. Usually you can just kind of take that stuff out by hand. Not much, but enough to mess with me a little bit. So let's try that again. All right, well, it looks like this switch is gonna. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so I think I'm not going to bolt the cover on because I gotta reconnect it on the machine, and it's got on the machine they had just done it kind of old school. They had tinned the wires, twisted them and tinned them, and then twisted them with a pair of actually I got to put it over here. If you've ever seen these at the flea market here. So these are, the jaws are round, and these are for forming eyelets in wire. So if you got a bunch of solid core wire or electrical wire or whatever, and you have to bend eyes in it, depending on, they're tapered, so depending on where you grab them, you can make a little loop in the end like that, okay? Or if you grab them up, you choke up on them up there, you can get a big loop like that. So they're kind of neat for that. So these are Crowders, which is an old, I think it's a New York company. And the Crowders they're kind of nice. They're forged, and they have these really crisp edges on them typically, if they're not too old and worn out. Don't know if they're still in business or not. Anyway, these had electrical tape around the handle. Some old electrician had these things. All right. Okay, so anyway, that's the repair of this drum switch. I got another one to do. This is kind of how it started out. I did start with the worst one. So believe it or not, this one was in better shape. This handle's better, and it wasn't. It was bent up a little bit more than this one is. So anyway, I'll use the same techniques and fix this one up too, and then we'll get them on that jig bore and see if we can get some power to it and get it running. I lucked out on these guys here. These Bakelite pieces here are intact. So that was the other thing is these guys on that first switch were blown out here on the ends, so they need a little extra help. And so these are missing. Let's see. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you can see them here. Let me get up nice and close. It's got some little tits here that stick up that keep this from going through the sheet metal. So these are intact here on this one. So this one's like, basically it's factory. It's perfect, right? So this one here, it had happened on the other one. It got sheared off. One of them sheared off, but one of them's intact. So what I may do on this one is just drill a hole here and put a little peg in there. So this one's basically, the same. And the spring, the little retaining spring's in okay shape there. So I'll probably do that on this one. I'm not going to videotape that. I mean, it's you saw the first one, that was more hammered than this one. So this will be easy. Famous last words, right? It's always the easy stuff that gets you in trouble. Anyway, so kind of that's the end of the drum switch repair. And so next would probably be some of the wiring and getting power to this machine for the first time for me anyway, and getting it turned on. So I'm looking forward to that, and thanks for watching. I'm Tom, and this is Ox Tools. Talk to you later. Bye.